What's going on, my friends? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about Vinco Ventures or Bbig stock, bringing you guys the update once again. It's going to be a fun video and I'll let you guys know where exactly I see this stock heading in the near future, especially with extremely low volume, extremely low implied volatility, and the tyde dividend that is expected in Q2 2022 coming up very soon. Bbig may in fact be presenting a very good buying opportunity in the near future, so that's exactly what we are going to be discussing as of today. Anyways, my friends, if you guys want to join Hootmoney trade alerts, we bagged up seeing a high of 80% on RDBX, and I actually sold this one way too early, but my SPY put that I bought this morning ended up running 1,591%. I sold that one way too early, but the sentiment was correct. It did end up crashing like crazy as of today, and with that, a lot of people ended up making some good money today in Hootmoney trade alerts. So again, that's that first link below. But with all that being said, let's get right into today's video. All right, so I've briefly talked about this in another video of mine, but these purple regions are regions where Bbig's implied volatility was less than 150%. And if we're just bringing up the chart of implied volatility, you guys can see we are currently under 150%. And usually in the past, once Bbig has dipped below 150%, that basically implies that there is a rally to occur, because if market makers are shorting call options, essentially trying to profit off of selling call options to retail, eventually they're going to want to buy it back. And typically speaking, they do buy them back when they're at very low volatility. So before that run up in March, it was at a very similar implied volatility. What also do we have right around the corner, given that management does come through with the expectation? We have the tyde dividend. So if we're coming back to this chart, you guys can see on April 5th, that is when we did enter into the purple region. I haven't actually shaded it purple, but we are currently in a purple region as of right now, since we are under 150% implied volatility. Typically what happens in these purple regions is Bbig ends up selling off, and it typically ends up selling off to that 220 level. As you guys can see, it usually gets down there, sometimes even going as low as 195, but the 220 level is a very strong support, and then 195 is also a very strong support. And usually when it's under 150% implied volatility, that's where it ends up. It ended up going above 150% implied volatility right here back at the beginning of December, but it still ended up hitting a low of 237. So it usually ends up in this range. I mean, we're at 234 right now. It could potentially get as low as 195 before it actually does spike up, but it almost always presents a good buying opportunity, because if you bought at the end of this little rally right here down below 150%, not a rally, sell-off under a 150% implied volatility, you saw some upside, and that's exactly where I was buying. Same thing right here, right? If you're getting it as close to 220 as possible and it's under 150% implied volatility, it has led to some upside. Even right here, I mean, right here it's a lot harder, but you did get some green candles after that dip, and then especially right back here, back in August and September, that's when it was really crazy with Bbig. But we're approaching that same period right now, and we're obviously in the purple. So while the purple region does usually imply some downside risk, it does present that very good buying opportunity, which is essentially what I wanted to illustrate for you guys. Another thing here is that in call option volume is at another low. We did see divergence away from call option volume in the price action from Bbig. We mentioned that before. It essentially just started pumping, right? But call volume was not nearly as high, which was very interesting. We've never seen Bbig do that ever before, essentially in its history. And unfortunately, Unusual Whales did get rid of that side-by-side chart looking at historical flow and the actual price action of the underlying stock. But you guys can see the share price did end up holding up a lot longer, even when call option volume was declining. But we're back at about 26,000 call volume, and usually this has led to a price increase in the future. Right here, it saw a low of about 32,000. Right here, it saw a low of about 28,000. We're at 26,000 right now. So you guys do the math and you guys make your own decision. But typically speaking, I mean, back here is like 14,000 before it started running. Typically speaking, this usually does lead to a run, and also obviously it's coinciding with that very, very low implied volatility. I'd like to quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo, a licensed FINRA broker that does absolutely zero payment for order flow, and they also give away free level 2 data. They're running a promotion that you guys can see on your screen right now, where you deposit $1, you can get up to $7,000 in free stock. In addition to that, if you deposit $2,000, you can get 3 more stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So it's definitely the best brokerage promotion. I mean, just the level 2 data alone, right? You're paying money for that on other brokerages. The level 2 data is worth it alone. The links are below in the description or pinned comment section if you guys want to check it out. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video. So quickly going over the short interest data, we won't spend too much time on it, but the days to cover is now at the highest value that it has ever been in the past year. Typically, when the days to cover number is higher, it means that you will see some more upside from short covering. And if we're just looking at the days to cover number from before that rally in March, it was at 1 days to cover. So it's almost about 67% higher than it was from this original rally. So whatever rally that we can get out of this from a short squeeze could potentially be a lot more volatile, and it was around these numbers right here, about 1.55 before that January run up to about $6 per share. Shares short have been increasing. We're up to 30.66 million, but overall today the short interest did increase. We're at 36% cost to borrow, still at 100% utilization. Basically been this our entire time that we have been here. And yeah, I mean, 47 million shares on loan. There is that risk that these shares do get returned. There's about 17 million in excess of shares on loan, and just understand that's essentially what they do to manipulate the share price. You can see we're number 71 on the short squeeze leaderboard, which does pose some upside, and 24 on the gamma squeeze leaderboard as well. 200 shares available to be shorted as of 14 minutes ago there on Fintel, and then Fintel also has it at a 37% borrow fee. Looking at that short volume, it's been about 50% each and every single day. I mean, what do I have to say? It's been super high. Short exemptions have not been too extreme there. And here are the failure to deliver data from March, and you guys can see, I mean, it just went up like crazy. We saw on 3/23 it got up to 2,400,000 failure to delivers. They covered a few, failed to deliver some more back on March 29th, again at almost 2.5 thousand million right there, not thousand. But yeah, it's been pretty insane. And as always, I mean, they're likely going to get away with these failure to delivers. They already covered a few there on March 31st. Looking at the unusual whales option flow today, we did get a selling of a put option and a buying of a call option. If we're looking at $10,000 in premium or more, that would put us at 100% bullish flow. We're going to lower the flow here to see a few more bets. As you guys can see, it was a little bit more bearish towards the beginning of the day, but by the end of the day, it was getting a lot more bullish. Overall, we were 62% bullish, with bulls going for 429. Very interesting. Perhaps we get some tyde news before 429. That would be next week's Friday expiration. And bulls are going for that $2.5 strike price as well. We already went over the historical flow. This is usually where we would go over that, so we're going to jump right into that max pain figure for 422, which is tomorrow. Max pain is at $2.50, which would pose some upside from the current prices. And here is our gamma exposure, and as you guys can see, it is not as juicy, although I do believe they are leaving out a few strikes here. But from April 14th, we lost a lot of our gamma, so just understand the gamma exposure now is not as juicy as a lot of that gamma. In fact, 50% of the stock's entire gamma was lost on April 14th. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the video. I hope hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, I'm looking for the buying opportunity in BBIG. Again, usually when it's chilling in that $2.20 to $2 level, that region, right? It's a very, very strong support, and we also have very low implied volatility on top of that, which definitely does present a decent buying opportunity. So the best case scenario in this situation is to wait for that $2.20 to $2 range, and then hopefully we do go through with that Q2 2022 tyde dividend spin-off, as the CFO did promise in their earnings call. That's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Drop that like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, all that stuff. If you want to join Moomoo, you can get up to $7,000 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. That's the second link in the description, first link in the pinned comment section. And if you want to join Hootmoney trade alerts, we've been doing very, very well. We got an 80% bagger on a play today, and then also our SPY put ended up running almost 1600%. Sold that one a bit too early, but the sentiment was there. Hootmoney trade alerts is that first link in the description down below. That's about it. I'll be seeing you guys next time.